Buckle up, Buttercup. Live from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Podcasting around the world. You're listening to the GloucesterCast podcast, a production of Joey Shimataro and Good Morning Gloucester Media. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show with your host, Joey Shimataro, and his crew of merry castaways. No piping plovers will be intentionally harmed in the production of this podcast.
Good morning, Gloucester. We have a very special podcast. Am I too loud? I'm trying to bring the energy. I'm just trying to keep up with Phil Nicastro because he brings the energy as the voice of Gloucester hockey. He brings the heat. It's wow. The numbers are just jumping off the page right now.
Look at that.
But Phil is the voice of Gloucester hockey. Gloucester High School tomorrow will be facing who?
Canton, yes.
Don't ask him hard
And
questions
Canton
like that.
is on a 21-game winning streak.
But let me do introductions. We got Chris McCarthy here.
Good morning, Gloucester.
I'm your host, Joey Shimataro. We have Phil Nicastro, voice of Gloucester hockey. Jimmy Fingers. Oh, go right there. Jimmy Fingers on the camera, on camera 1. And on camera 3, we got Pat and Nicole. Pat,
drinking a beer in the morning?
Pat's taking care of the back end. There we go.
Oh, the back end.
Okay, well, she's good at that. So we have that, which is nice. So, Phil,
Yes.
this has been an unbelievable ride.
Wow.
Did anybody see Gloucester High School hockey going to the Final Four at the beginning of the season?
I did.
You did.
I did. No.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. Let's go back to last year, the pandemic shortened season. They had all these freshmen on it that looked really, really good. I said, well, there's going to be a good team here someday. And I knew it this year, because last year was a pandemic shortened season.
Yeah.
You couldn't read too much of it. There was no playoffs, so you couldn't read too much into the team. But they were loaded with freshmen that looked good.
Yeah.
And I went by that premises when the season started.
Yeah.
And they had all this experience. It was only 9 games, but there seemed to be something special developing.
Nice.
And they took it right into this year. I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I mean, this year, we're looking at the roster.
Yeah.
14 sophomores.
Yeah, and they all played last year as freshmen.
And they all
That's
played.
the key.
So they have the experience.
They got their 1 year under their belt. It was the pandemic year. So the coach did this. You know what? Pandemic year, we're not going to the playoffs. We're not going anywhere. Let's just load it with underclassmen.
Yeah.
I think that was his thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, not many high school coaches put 14 freshmen on their roster.
Right.
That's just unheard of.
That's
That's almost depleting a JV team,
yeah, you're right.
which I don't think he cares about.
That's for the JV coach.
That's for him to
worry about, right? I should mention we are at the Beauport Hotel. Ray Johnstone, one of our favorite GMs in the business, has generously given us this space to use. I mean, as you can see from the camera angle right here, it is a beautiful, beautiful space. It's burger night tonight. We'd love for you to come down, get a burger and a beer. They have a special tonight.
1606.
$16.06, craft beer and a burger. And you could go right down the list. The new chef here is doing phenomenal things.
Yep.
And this is one of our favorite restaurants
Nice
and
place.
hotels in the city.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ray Johnstone. Shout out to Joe, today's manager, who really took good care of us, setting us up in this space.
Yeah. This is the first time seeing Joe
the manager, yeah.
Joe the manager without a mask. I almost didn't recognize him.
It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
It is.
It really is a nice feeling. But we also should mention, if you share the podcast, I'm going to go to camera 1 because Jimmy's over there working hard over there. If you share the podcast and you type shared in the Facebook comments, we will see it. And we will enter you for a chance. Mike Coder, our friend Mike Coder, donated a ticket to tomorrow's game. and we will be drawing from the people that share the podcast for that ticket. I also have, Nicole, I'm sorry. Could you reach into my bag? I got a Yeti cup that Beauport Financial donated. I'm sorry.
Show for the wires.
I should have. This is on me.
Oh, geez. See, you get here an hour and a half early to prep, and you forget the giveaway cup.
No, it's there.
Is it in front of
I think.
Oh, is it here?
It's right here.
Sorry.
Here it is.
Beauport, my friends at Beauport Financial Services. This is a actual. It's not a knockoff Yeti. It's a legit Yeti. So if you share the podcast and type shared in the comments, you'll be entered to win one of the two prizes. And once we announce who the winner is, the first person to comment tickets or cup gets to pick.
Do you have to go with Mike Coder?
Yeah.
No,
The winner?
This is not a
He is
punishment. This
single.
is an award. This is not a punishment. Not a punishment.
Being stuck in the car with him for 45 minutes?
So I wanted to mention that. Just so we could get a little feeling, because really the star of the show right now is Phil Nicastro. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
But Jim Capillo put together a highlight reel from the last game, which is, if you didn't see the game, you didn't get to go see the game. It's 5 minutes of magic. So we're going to play the clip in entirety of the highlights of Phil calling the game, and we will be right back afterwards to talk all about Gloucester High School hockey and everything else. So don't forget to share the podcast, and if you have any questions for Phil or any of us, type your questions into the comments, and Phil will see them, and we will put them on the screen with your name, and we'll try to answer your questions. So without further ado, Jim Capillo's highlight reel from the Norwood game, Phil Nicastro on color and play-by-play. And action.
Take on the Norwood Mustangs. Norwood with it. They pass it up. Nice hit. Nice hit by Derek Elms. Here comes Marshall. Marshall. Score! Emerson Marshall with an assist from Brett Cunningham. 1-0 Gloucester. And the Fishermen break out on top. Off the draw, back to the point. Save Tarantino with the glove. In the Gloucester end, Marshall gets it out. He makes a pass to Cunningham. Here they come. Cunningham, he's got Marshall in Orlando. Marshall shot at the post. Oh, front shot. Block, what a play. Nice defensive play by Frades. Ryan Frades, what a play. He put his body in front of that puck, and he's getting an ovation for it. Jewell with it. Jewell, he's tripped up. There's a penalty. All right. And Gloucester will have a power play with exactly 5 minutes left. First period. A 2-1 Norwood lead. Aiden Donald, he has it. Aiden to Costanzo, shot. Score! Jack Costanzo ties the game at 2. With an assist from Aiden Donald. But the goalie comes out, Burrows. Marshall takes a hit. And was that a hit to the head? Because Marshall looks to be down and hurt. And here comes the trainer. That looked like a hit to the head, but are we going to get a call? Probably not. A little bit of a different combination. They win the draw. Shot. Score! Derek Elms. Fishermen lead 3-2. So the fishermen got to kill another penalty. Off the draw. Schuster has it. Over to Delaney. Get rid of it. There you go. Get rid of that puck. And Costanzo has it. 1-on-1. Jack. What a move. Jack. Shot. Score! Jack Costanzo makes it 4-2. A short-handed goal. Wow, what a move that was. And look at Emerson Marshall. He's out there. Four to two, Gloucester. Shot blocked by Schuster. Nice play, Robbie Schuster. You got Cunningham. Oh, come on. Yeah, it's about time. And the fisherman power play is just about over. Here comes Costanzo. 1 minute left in the second period. Jack with it. Jack shot. Saved by Burrows. What a glove save that was. Legiacano goes up in the air. And here comes Norwood. Nice play by Schuster. Delaney can't get it. Schuster. And we have a whistle. Do we? No whistle at all. Here comes Jack. He's in. Score! Jack Costanzo. And the fishermen take the 5-4 lead. I don't know what the Norwood team is arguing about. The Hats are on the ice. One minute left in the game. Shot. Frady's. The goalie is out for Norwood. We're under a minute. Stolen by Cunningham, and they get it out of the zone. Costanzo goes in after it. It comes up to Norwood in the neutral zone. Cunningham steals it. Brett Cunningham has it. To Costanzo. Open net. Shot. Score! 6-4 Gloucester. 4 goals by Jack Costanzo tonight. Wow, the electricity inside this place. And the fishermen are going to advance to the semifinals with the final score 6-4.
Here. We're back. Wow. My heart's pumping right now. So Phil, what would you say? Like your enthusiasm when you call the games. I don't know too many people that call games. Usually it's a tandem. There's a play-by-play guy,
Right, yeah.
and there's a color guy.
Right.
Do you pride yourself on being able to do this on your own?
I guess so. I kind of, sometimes I wish I had a color guy. But, yeah, I guess I do pride myself on being a solo act, sure.
And what would you say to people that say that the people that call games, like, so I personally love Jack Edwards.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hockey purists
I don't like him.
that don't like Jack Edwards.
Yeah.
So what do you say to those people?
I don't know. Jack Edwards, I like him.
I like him.
I like him, too. I like his partner, too, Andy Brickley.
Brinkley. Yeah.
Brickley is good. I think the two together work great. Brickley, I mean, I got some stories about Jack Edwards. I don't know if I should repeat them or not, but, well, he used to work for ESPN.
Okay.
Do you know if you know that or not?
No, I didn't.
Well, when ESPN first started, this is back in the 80s, They really didn't have much to show. It was just Chris Berman, if you don't recall
Of
him.
course,
Yeah, he was the beginner. But then they finally got the NHL. And Jack Edwards was a part of the broadcasting for a long time. And the NHL basically saved ESPN.
Really?
Wow.
But then after the years went by, ESPN got huge. They dropped the
Gave up
NHL.
on
They
it.
dropped them like a bad habit.
Yeah.
And they picked up the NBA and the NFL. Of course, those moves probably made sense. There was probably more moolah for them and that to do that. Well, I guess when they had the production meeting, they told Jack Edwards that he was no more NHL on the station. He flipped out.
Wow.
At that production meeting.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
I think they arrested him.
Oh, wow.
He was that upset, huh?
I mean, it was pretty bad.
Wow.
Really?
That's what I heard.
How did you?
And I think he's right. He was right. There's no need for ESPN to drop the NHL. Of course, they went to two other leagues that doubled the money.
Yeah.
They should have kept the NHL.
Yeah.
Because that made them and it saved them.
Yeah.
It made ESPN the what it is today, which
Yeah.
I don't even like anymore. So
Yeah.
No,
I liked it better when Chris Berman was sitting there doing
yeah.
it by himself.
100%. And you could wake up in the morning, you saw the top 10, and and it was more about sports. Nowadays, it's more about
Business and sports.
yeah,
It's all
exactly.
about the cash.
Yeah.
How did you get your start? For people who don't know you, how did you?
One
get to
day
the
I was
point?
home on a Monday holiday. I was flicking through the cable channels. I got to the local channel, and it's a sports announcer wanted up at the KPN TV, and I just went for the ad, and that was it.
How long ago was that?
10 years now.
Okay.
I wanted to do the football, but when I went there, it was February.
Yeah.
And football season was a long way off. They said, okay, we'll keep you in mind, and they called me back a few months later to do the Fiesta. Now, the Fiesta was my first broadcast for KPN TV. The Greasy Pole and the Sane Boat races, which ended up being great.
Nice.
That was fun to do.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then I did the football team that first year. That was the first year that they were rebuilding Newell Stadium. I was doing the Gloucester home games were in Manchester that year, my first year.
Interesting.
The football team. That winter, I did the Rockport hockey team because they already had someone for the Gloucester team. 2 years later, I became the Gloucester hockey announcer and the football announcer for KPN TV. Then the station kind of changed hands, and me and Jim kind of went on our own.
Yeah.
But this team is loaded with sophomores.
Oh, yeah,
they're
man.
going deep. They're the Final Four.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you give us a little bit, a brief season recap? What got us to this point? Because when they started the season, there were no fans at all.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting because when the season started, I remember that very first game. Me and Jim were there, and it was against North Andover, a Division I opponent. This first game was a big game at bat.
Yeah.
Nobody's in the building. Okay, just me, Jim, Nick Cooper with the Gloucester Times, and a couple of parents, and that was it. Great game. They won 6-3. They beat a Division I opponent to start the season. That was huge for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge for them.
With all the sophomores.
With all the sophomores, yeah. So then the confidence kept gaining. Then they played Marblehead game 2. They went to Salem State. That's Marblehead's home arena. They beat them 8-1.
Wow.
So now they're 2-0, and they're looking good, and the confidence just kept on building. Then they hit a snag. They were 6-0, and they go to play Masconomet, which was just as good as they are.
Yeah.
They come to Gloucester. They force overtime. Masco wins in overtime. Heartbreaking loss. That was their first loss of the season. But I like what the coach said after the game. He says, no one ever said we were going to go 20-0.
Yeah.
Which is probably true.
Yeah.
But then they lost the next game. They had to go to Winthrop. I wasn't at that game. It was the only game I missed, by the way. They lost 3-1, and no one could figure out what happened that game.
Yeah.
But what did Winthrop do to hold with the one goal? No one tell them the one goal all year except Winthrop. So we just said, okay, we just chalked it up as a bad night. And that's just what it was. And then they go on another hot streak. They won 5 or 6 in a row. Then they go to play Masco again. Okay? Another overtime game and another overtime loss.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then they went to Woburn against a Division I team. They played in Woburn. That game goes to overtime. Another heartbreaking overtime loss.
Wow.
So 3 out of the 4 losses this team suffered this year are heartbreaking losses. Overtime.
Wow.
And they didn't win the Northeast Conference North because of it. Masco won the North.
Okay.
So believe it or not, Gloucester came in second place this year in the conference.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Things are a little different now when the state tournament comes. They changed all the rules, but then they played Marblehead again, beat them for the third time. Then the Winthrop came to Gloucester. They spanked them to get them back for the first time they played them. Then came the biggest game of the season in my mind. They're going to go to Boston to play Beehive, a Division I Catholic school powerhouse.
Yeah.
A team that just never loses a game. That's not true, but they play a tough schedule every year.
Yeah.
Every game they play is brutal.
Oh, yeah.
So here's Gloucester going in against a team theoretically they should lose to. Because if you looked at this game on the schedule, it was a loss to most people. And they went in there and they beat them 6-5.
Wow.
The confidence of that team just went through the roof since they haven't lost since. And here we are today, the semifinals tomorrow night against Canton.
Wow. That's a great recap.
That is, and the mind is just like this.
Yeah.
It's Jim will tell you it's not that good.
You guys been breaking each other's balls all day long.
Well, that's what makes it work.
So Canton is a tough team, though.
Oh yeah, they in the Hockomock League, which is south of Boston, so we don't see these guys too often. In fact, the last game against Norwood, it was hard to scout them too. Don't know too much about them either. But Canton's won 21 games in a row.
Wow.
So that's nothing to shake a stick at. They started the season 0-2-1. Canton did. I checked their schedule, and they haven't lost since.
Oh, wow. That's bananas.
That's huge.
That's bananas.
So we got two pretty good teams going at it tomorrow
Yeah.
for the state semifinal to advance to the Boston Garden. Big game tomorrow.
Big game. We
So-
need all the fans out there.
We've gotten 21 minutes into this podcast, and we haven't mentioned probably the straw that stirs the drink, Jack Costanzo
Well, you might as well throw Mr. Marshall in there too.
and Mr. Marshall.
Well, because they're 1A and 1B. Let me tell you what the coach does. Let's talk about line combinations. The first line can be the second line. The second line can be the first line. And he can do this every other game if he wants to. The opposing coach does not know how to prepare for this.
Yeah.
Most high school hockey teams are constructed like this. First line, second line, third line. Nothing deviates from that unless there's an injury or a suspension or whatever. Nothing deviates from that. But Gloucester isn't like that. He could just rotate and rotate and rotate. It's a matchup nightmare. Costanzo one night, Marshall the next night. It could be David Jewell the next night. It could be Brett Cunningham the following night. And they come at you from all angles.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that you didn't say a fourth line.
Well,
that was the line that I was on at Bishop Fenwick. What
Well,
happened to
let
the
me
fourth?
address that.
Did they no longer go with fourth lines now?
Well, you know what? It all depends how many kids you have. He's got a fourth line. He does have a fourth line. That's how much talent.
Yeah.
A team that has four lines has talent.
Oh, there we go, right there. Well, thanks for confirming
All right,
that.
so you were fourth liner.
So you mentioned this in the replay that Jim posted from Cape Ann Live. As a matter of fact, we should give a shout out to Cape Ann Live. Jim Capillo, Phil Nicastro, Lisa Olson. Anybody else I'm missing out?
John Russ.
And John Russ.
Yeah.
They do a phenomenal job. You guys picked up where Cape Ann TV left off. You broadcasted as many games as you possibly could. Donated your time. You guys don't get paid for this. And it's just a great testament for the love that you have for the city. So it's just really impressive how much you guys give back to the community.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say was, in the Norwood broadcast, you mentioned, Phil, when they were announcing, when they put the team out, the first line, they had Costanzo on defense, which was not conventional.
Very unconventional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the position that I'm in watching the game, once Costanzo gets the puck, he's no longer a defenseman.
Yeah. He has the green light to do anything
Exactly.
he wants.
Now, here's the key, though. This is what I'm talking about. This is how good this team is. When Costanzo is on defense, he gets puck, he rushes up. Now he's a forward. But that forward on that side is smart enough
To drop back.
to come back and play defense.
Yeah.
That's what makes this team.
Yeah.
The role players who say, "Oh, Jack's doing this, Emerson's doing this. Well, I got to do this," and they do it.
Yeah.
They do it. The camaraderie on this team is unbelievable. This is a once in a generation team. I think.
Yeah.
I really do. I really feel that way. You don't have too many teams with the chemistry and the talent that this team has. It's a rare combination, talent and chemistry. Some teams have one, some teams have the other. This team has both.
That's what creates.
That's what
champions.
impresses me.
That's
You know,
what you need.
that's
That's
what
you need.
I'm waiting for a team to come along who's I can say that are better than them. Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So where do you think that Jack Costanzo ranks with some of the all-time great Gloucester hockey players like Stevie Douglas and Donnie Riley.
Well, Douglas and Riley, two great players. There's other great players. I'm going to put him in the top 5. But one thing is going to hurt Jack. He missed those games last year. That's a lot of points. He could have potentially broken the school scoring record. Was told by Mario Orlando, by the way, whose son plays on this year's team.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah,
That's wild.
that's wild. Yeah. So, I'm going to put him in the top 5. Jack Costanzo, but he would have broke the school scoring record this year if it wasn't for the pandemic season.
That. Yeah.
So we mentioned Jack. You can't mention Jack without mentioning Marshall.
Right.
And the really crazy part about Marshall is he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. That's right.
And we mentioned this before.
Kenny was a sophomore. Jules a sophomore. Both goalies are sophomores.
Oh, really?
This team is stacked for the future.
Stacked. I'm telling you.
Exciting. It's very, very exciting. Do you know if any of these players have made commitments for next year where they're going to play?
Well, Jack's graduating this year anyway, so he's leaving.
But has he committed to a college?
I heard no. I heard he's on the prep school.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that what you normally do to get another year under your belt?
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might need it academically.
Okay.
Sometimes you might need it athletically. Yeah. Or both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. Emerson's, he's just a sophomore, but I heard he's an excellent student. So
See what happens with him.
see what happens. I hope he comes back. You know, here's the thing with Emerson. I can give him 10,000 reasons to leave Gloucester. I can't give him one reason to stay, but I want him to stay anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
you know, if he doesn't come back, you move on. And you know what? The players are there to replace him.
Yep.
The players are there. So
Absolutely.
we'll see what happens.
How about the coach? Give us a little
Great
background
coach.
of the
Great coach. He's very cerebral.
Yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, the set plays he has.
Yeah.
He graduated from Dartmouth.
Oh, okay.
He was drafted by the Bruins.
Oh.
He was a Bruins draft pick.
Yeah. What's his name again?
Derek Gary.
Derek Gary.
Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job. How long has he been?
I think he's in his 4th year now.
4th year.
He's brought the team to the state tournament every year.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
In
mean,
his first year, the team wasn't looking that great
Okay.
as far as talent was concerned.
we should also mention, we have an unbelievable farm system.
Yeah.
Cape Ann Youth Hockey.
Cape Ann Youth Hockey is unreal. The kids are everywhere.
I mean, Nicole's kids have played Cape Ann Youth Hockey. We'll go to camera 3 right here. Nicole, do you have any comments to say about what kind of a start your kids got? Thatcher and Finn with Cape Ann Youth Hockey.
We're so lucky, like you just said. I mean, it starts really, really young.
Yeah.
My kids both started. I think Thatcher started at 4. Finn, being the second child, got on the ice at like 3.
That's when you get it.
A little bit too young to try out there, and decided to take a couple months off. But they've been in it to win it since be. And such a great program, such a great camaraderie in the city that just leads up to this high school level. I think.
Yeah, it leads right
your
into it.
skating families are your favorite families. By far, lots of great friendships, lots of great volunteers and hard workers.
Did
That
you
we're
ever
so
go
lucky
on
to
that
have.
Montreal trip that they go to every year?
We did 2, and then we've missed a couple because of COVID. But I hear maybe November will be the 3rd one. So
I was glad to see that the high school kids went to one of the youth games
so cute.
and rooted them on like they would root them on.
Yeah, did you see the photos? They
Yes.
were,
Yeah.
They were so excited. They went in the tunnel, they high-fived everybody, they were watching the entire game, and they went through the locker room, patted all the little squirt threes on the head.
Yeah.
And we're super excited to be there. You can tell there was nothing like gimmicky about that. Those kids, those high school kids were so excited to be cheering those kids on. And it's funny because younger high school players are still often involved in Cape Ann Youth Hockey.
Right.
Younger high school players can still play midget. Sometimes
Freshmen.
they're even still bantam.
Some freshmen
Which is like bantams
would
are
be
very
still
much,
old enough to be
right?
on the bantam side.
So it's a really funny,
It's a
really
different combination.
funny, right? You're still playing Cape Ann Youth Hockey.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're still going out and playing for your high school
And
team.
that's what happened
But
to me.
all of a
yeah.
sudden, there seems when you see these high school kids with the squirts, even though there's only like a few years in between, it all of a sudden seems like this endless gap. And they're the heroes. Very quickly they become
And they
hometown
seamlessly
heroes,
go right into the next level.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole, so as a hockey mom, did you know what you were getting yourself into when these youth hockey players, they don't necessarily get the best playing the times to go practice, right? It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. The rinks are all over the Northeast, Did you know what you were signing up for?
I have not had a lot of the 5 o'clock in the morning practices. Thatcher would have if he had stayed at Rockport, but he plays for Essex Tech, and we're lucky over there with practice times. But the travel, I never knew about. I worked for the Red Sox when my kids were right before my kids were born. I thought they'd be baseball players, which they are a little bit, but they fell into hockey all on their own, and they fell into it because it's what Gloucester kids do, really. Like it, they went to a couple games, and all of a sudden they were going to play hockey. And Freddie has a ton of hockey in his family, but he didn't push it. They just wanted it on their own. And no, I didn't know the travel and the commitment and the mileage on the car and all of that.
But what they also say is you probably wouldn't have done anything differently.
No, it's my favorite thing ever. Like, honestly, when we don't have a tournament coming up and we don't have a hotel room booked or we don't have a game, like Finn won't play hockey this weekend because he has to miss a game. And I'm already sad about it. So Thatcher's season's ended. He probably won't play again until the Hockey Night in Boston tournament this summer. So he's got a little bit of a break, and I hate that. There's so much comes out of hockey, and I could go on about this forever, but it's not just about the game. It's about all the lessons that they learn playing and the friendships they have. And I would never. No, I do nothing differently.
It's great. It's a good camaraderie.
This right now, neither of my children are a part of this because they go to different schools while we live in the city and they play for different teams. But, this is, you can't beat this. You can't beat a city coming together so strongly for these parents and, and to see the moms and to see, they're just like me. They've come from these little 3-year-old players, and what a great thing for them to have right now. They're not going to forget this, no matter what happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
they're not going to forget this.
Right, they're not. No, they're going to love what they're seeing. They're seeing it right now. Yeah.
One of the coolest things I went to the game. One of the coolest things that I saw was all the young kids, boys and girls,
with their Cape Ann
jerseys,
standing right next to the bench.
Yeah, yep. Lined up against the glass. It was
this group of young kids, like she mentioned, they're looking at this high school team as their heroes.
Oh yeah.
That can only be a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, my stepson plays. He's Cape Ann youth hockey, and believe me when I tell you, the motivation for him, seeing this, this could be me, and he probably doesn't have the sense of time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's all in, and this generation of youth hockey players, it just drives them to want to get to that level, which is fantastic.
And like I touched on the camaraderie on this team, I think the younger kids are really feeding off of this.
That's great.
100%.
That is just tremendous.
Yeah,
that's tremendous. It really is. That means you already know. At least 5 years down the road, you get some kids who really want to play hockey. At least 5 years.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And if you look at this team, the way they're constructed and how they go about their business, they want to win.
Yeah,
they want to play hockey and they want to win.
Yeah,
and you can just sense it. It's great.
That's good stuff.
It's funny. So a lot of I'm not going to mention. So some schools, they think that they have school spirit.
Yeah.
And my wife went to a smaller school and stuff like that, and she's not from Gloucester. And she went to the game the other night, the Norwood game, and she came back from that game so all in on this community, and it just absolutely it brings a community together. And all the comments I was seeing, if you're not at this game, it seems like everybody who's anybody goes to these games.
I know.
Did you know my father-in-law by any chance, Buzzer Foley? Did you know that name?
Don't ring a bell.
No, he used to call some games with Pete. Pete, what was Pete's last name?
Kelly.
Pete Kelly. Pete Kelly. Yeah, they used to call games together.
He wants Gloucester to lose, Pete.
Is he one of those? He's one of those
naysayers.
I
hope he's listening to.
I'm not saying anything. No, but
Pete's a good guy.
Pete's not a Jack Edwards fan, by the way.
No, he's not.
He's trying to. He's looking for that. He's looking for that ESPN contract.
Yeah. Pete had a nice job, though. He really did. Worked for WSBK TV with during the Bobby Wood days. Come on, how can you not? That's the greatest job in the world back then.
Wow, he went back. He went that far.
Who were the old announcers? Fred Cusick.
And Johnny Pearson. I remember them. I actually remember Don Earl.
Don Earl. I don't
He-
remember him.
This was before cable. This was I call it the BC days before cable.
Yeah.
WSBK TV 38.
Yeah.
They had the Bruins and they had the Red Sox.
I worked with Fred's daughter, Mary Cusick,
Oh yeah.
back
That's
in the
interesting.
90s.
Yeah.
And we'd always talk about, after the games,
Mm.
we'd talk about the father and the job he did.
Yeah.
Bloopers.
All
Over
over
10
the place.
years, I'm
How
sure.
funny, yeah, I'm sure,
Any,
yeah.
any funny stories to share?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure they're great.
No,
no,
for you.
For you.
Me?
For you,
You're
yeah.
Bloopers. Well, I started working with him.
Joe
No,
could say the same thing.
Well, I don't know. I might have probably didn't even realize it is a
Didn't
blooper.
really-
So
You ever forget a kid's name or
Oh, yeah.
swear? Have you ever?
no, I haven't sworn. Sometimes you want to,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you could bite your tongue sometimes.
But it's,
You got to bite your.
yeah.
I don't want to criticize the football team, but they had a tough year last year. That was a tough year to broadcast too,
Yeah.
because you're trying to say all the positive things
Right.
you can,
Right.
and sometimes you run out of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I started realizing this as time went on. If it's a bad team, the less is better.
Yeah.
If you got nothing to say or positive
Yeah.
to say, don't say it at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Just wait till the next play and
Yeah.
whatever. You
Yeah.
move on.
Going on.
Yeah.
Pat, do we have any questions from the crowd?
I have two questions while we walk. First of all, hardest name to pronounce.
Excuse me?
You have this season, hardest name to pronounce.
Hardest-
Being the city of Gloucester.
Hardest
For
name to
you,
pronounce?
Have you had a tough name that you struggle with? Maybe not even this season.
Well, you know what? This kid here, Lajacano, I think I've called him 20,000 different names. Last year, I was calling him Lojo Kono. His father is the one who told me it was Lajacano. And I looked at it.
Terry.
Well, there's
Terry, yeah.
There's Liacano and there's
Lojacano.
Yeah, there's Lojo Kono.
There's two different families.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what name? Well, I got an interesting story I want to tell you about names. There was a kid on the football team this year. His last name was DeCoste. So I'm on a road game one night at Friday night. The fishermen are on the road, and the PA announcer from the other team came up to me and goes, "Hey, how do you pronounce that name?" And I told him, DeCoste. So he goes and does his job. The coast kid gets the ball. DeCosta, the ball carrier. I look back at it. I said, "Buddy, I told you DeCoste." In the whole game, he said DeCoste. DeCosta, I mean. Yeah.
We got a comment. John Russ says Pete Kelly's father owned Kelly Broadcasting out of Plymouth, and also Bill Minton has a question for you. Phil, where does this team rate with some of Gloucester's best?
Well, if they win the state title, I don't want to take anything away from the great teams they've had. They've won 3 other state titles the school has in hockey. They've had a lot of other good teams that didn't quite get that far. But if they win the state title, I'm going to put them number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Only
big.
because of the way they're doing it. You know, every
Yeah.
game is a thrill.
Yeah.
Every game is exciting. Jack Costanzo gets the puck. People stand up.
Yeah.
This team has that grabs you.
Yeah.
You know what
Love
I'm
the
saying?
excitement, yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
There's
No,
been
it
a lot
is.
of great hockey teams. I was on one my senior year. We didn't quite get to this. We didn't go that far in the States, but in my senior year, we sold the place out too. When Donnie Riley was my coach.
I
We only lost 4 games that year in the regular season.
got to tell you something. Some of those games, I think it was the early 80s.
Right. In the late 70s too.
And late 70s
The
were
rink was packed.
pretty wild.
Wild.
With the throwing the fish on the
Throwing
ice,
fish
the
on the
golf
ice,
balls,
Golf balls,
the
tennis
fights,
balls.
the fights, there was the Winthrop
The Winthrop
the
games.
Winthrop rivalries. I mean,
My senior year, we played in Winthrop, right? We lost 5-4. I remember like it was yesterday. We're on the bus, and we're getting shelled with eggs. Tennis balls. Some of my ex-teammates out there. Come on, Ray D'Amico. Where are you? Steve McDonald. You guys remember all this? Well, anyways. And I remember clearly. And then there was a few other Gloucester guys who missed the bus, the fan bus, because they were, they ended up with us. Which was on the way home, which was kind of a nightmare.
Well, that was my only disappointment of that game. The last game was when Costanzo got the hat trick.
Yeah.
Everyone threw their hats.
Hats on the ice.
And I'm like, what? I thought Gloucester threw fish. I was waiting for
No,
the
no,
fish.
they-
I'm not. I'm
Wait a
not
minute now. Hold
local.
on. The opposing teams that are throwing fish, they made that a tradition years ago. Danvers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they came here 20 years ago instead of throwing fish on the ice.
Oh.
I wonder how they got it in.
Yeah. I think probably from Captain Joe and son.
How did they get it into the
those
break?
chants, though. Do you remember the chants? Kid, Civ.
Yeah,
kid,
Civ. Yeah, Civ. Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
Civ, kid,
Yeah.
Civ, kid. And it was crazy. So we have another question for you. It says, great job, guys. Question, has Jimmy ever fallen asleep while videotaping a sporting event? This is for you, Jim.
Oh, no. Jimmy's right on top of things.
Terry Logicono says, tell him just call it the boy Lojo.
Lojo, that's what he told me.
Makes it easy. Makes it easy. There you go.
And I think I saw something. Bill said that if they do win the whole thing, that he's got a nice cigar waiting for us. So
Bill Minton, thank you very much.
That's a big motivation.
Oh, that's our guy from the Middleton Smoke Shop.
Oh,
that's our high school buddy.
Shit, okay.
Bill, thank you very much.
I
We'll take you up on that cigar offer. Thank
Didn't
you
recognize the
very much.
last name.
We appreciate that. So there's that. Wow, we have quite a few listeners. I just want to mention.
Joey has fallen asleep at many.
I don't know. It just says Facebook user.
Yeah, who's the Facebook user?
I bet you that's my
gonna
wife.
Be Codair. No, that's going to be Codair over
could
there.
Be look, someone sneaky back there. So we have this wise guy comment from Susan Coviello, famous Cape Ann Chamber maven over here. So I have to confess to my wife. Me and Susan have a secret pact, and I'm sorry her husband's over there. I'm sorry to you as well. What? Oh, you guys are always together. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you guys are husband and wife. Sorry about that. Anyway, sorry to your best friend.
I think we're not
but I have to.
You are now. You're married now.
Kate, I'm sorry. I have to come clean. I've been sharing my Wordle scores with Susan.
All it takes is one. Now you're gone.
Washing your hands after. And how did you do today? We practiced safe Wordle.
We practice. Susan and I practice safe. So I have this thing because Chris and I have made a thing of making fun of people that every single day share their Wordle scores online because we think it's obnoxious. Now, that was before I started playing Wordle.
See, I knew it.
I have this sudden urge when I do well playing Wordle to share my score, but because I've given so many other people shit, I can't do it. So I have my Wordle mistress, I guess I'll call her. That I only share my Wordle with my wife, but then I have to do it electronically, so I share it with Susan, and she's my.
And how did you do today?
4 today, but when did I have 2? Was it a couple days ago?
Sure, Joey.
Yeah.
I had it on 2. No, I had it on 2 a couple days ago.
I'll never tell.
So I would like people to share on the in the podcast notes here. What is everyone's starting word? I'll tell you what mine is. Mine is roast. ROAST is my starting word. What's your starting word or word?
I change it up. So I like to use ocean because I find there are a lot of C's that come up more often.
Okay.
I think they're going to, and it has the 3 vowels. But adieu or alien are good because they also have 3 vowels. But I change it up. I don't always use the same one.
I started out with my good friend Charlene McCarthy's favorite word, moist.
Oh, there you go.
And I switched it over to roast.
Actually, and I will admit, since you came clean about your little affair, I did go to Wordle, and I played for like 2 days ago, and I plugged in moist, and the O was in the right place. The S.
See, you're explaining it. This is exactly what we make fun of people for.
And
this is exactly what we making fun of
you
Wordle people for.
And after that, I'm like, this is so stupid. What am I doing? So I didn't give in too much, and I haven't opened it since.
Your son is horrified. He says, Wordle needs to stop. As a millennial, I think it's one of the worst things to ever happen.
I couldn't agree with you more, Brendan.
Anybody else? Does anybody else that's watching right now play Wordle? I'd love to know what your starting word is. So there's that.
Someone want us to comment on the plovers and where they are in their.
I think that's a starting suggestion.
No, but
That's
that's
too many
six.
letters.
That's six
I know, but
letters.
it's a joke.
It's a joke. Oh, Pat. I think it's Jimmy. Jimmy is the one.
Right, yeah.
Ralph says. Ralph.
Well, I thought he had a
That was
concussion.
right.
Ralph says that Kate is why is Kate asking her Ralph for a good locksmith? She's gonna lock me out of the house now because of my Wordle mistress Susan Coviello. Someone just said Grace is their word. Audio is another user's name.
Oh, I thought they were saying the sound is off.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oprah, no. I don't think they'll take Oprah.
I mean, you can plug in 4 letters if you want. You just.
I was listening to NPR, and they were talking about this very thing, that, your annoying thing about sharing your Wordle scores. They were discussing it, and the commentator, the host of the show said, oh, well, the really good game to play is Spelling Bee. So I went out and found the Spelling Bee game, and it is fun. I'm enjoying that as well.
What Wordle is it's the old hangman from back in our day, is the way that I see it.
It is fun, and I look forward to it every day.
Do you play, Phil? Wordle? No, good.
I'm too busy
He's
making
studying
sheet metal parts.
He's studying the stats. So Phil, let's get back to you for a second here. How much prep do you put into a game?
The bigger the game, the more the prep I'll do. Like the Norwood game the other night, I studied them like a fine-tooth comb.
Really?
Do you know all the by the numbers of the opposing team? Do you know their names or the major ones, or how do you go with that?
Well, it's hard to know the visiting team's names. Once I do the Gloucester team, as the season wears on, I got them down. But the opposing team, it's pretty tough to remember all the names. So at first, I kind of say the number, look down at the roster, and then say the name.
Right.
As that game goes on, I'll get used to their players, but it's only one game.
Yeah. Joe and I were saying that when we forget somebody's name, we just kind of mumble it.
Yeah.
Or maybe so do you ever mumble a name?
You know what?
I noticed
when the closed caption comes on, it lets me know I mispronounce a word. I tell you.
I noticed when you're talking about
but sometimes I think that's wrong anyway. So.
I noticed when you're talking about giving a hit or taking a hit, you're always saying the Gloucester players. You say Costanzo gave a hit or Costanzo absorbed a hit.
Took the hit.
Yeah, took the hit. Yeah. Because that would be.
The thing about Jack, he's little, got all these fancy moves. He's a tough cookie.
Yeah,
he can take some hits in the corner and he can give them.
Yeah,
that's what I like about him.
Yeah, and I hear he's a good golfer and he's a good baseball player.
He's a tremendous baseball player too. So he's got the athletic blood in him. So.
Yeah.
And golf. You said baseball.
Well, he does play baseball.
I want to.
Golf's a fall sport now. In case you know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, golf's in the fall now. They did that to beat the weather.
Number one sport.
It's growing like crazy.
Yeah, fastest.
Captain of his golf team, Bishop Fenwick and Bryant College. So I would be remiss if I did not mention. I went to a grade school, middle school with Jack Costanzo Sr. Okay. His father.
Oh, really?
And this is not.
So you grew up with him.
Not to make it about me at all. His father, I see him around town, is one of the most nice.
Yeah, I met him.
Genuine.
Yes.
Not cocky. Just an absolute gentleman, and I'm sure his son is taking notes from his father because he's a class. Okay, that was the word I was looking for. Jack Costanzo Sr. is an absolute class act right there.
Joe, I know you didn't want to make it about you, but I did want to make it about
Nicole.
I did want to make it about me. This is a picture, Mike Coder, if you could see Pat's computer. This is a picture from our 1985 hockey team. That arrow is pointed at me, Chris McCarthy.
But look at that lettuce. Bishop Fenwick.
Class
of 85.
Class of 85.
Class of 85.
Right in the middle, right next to the captain, Russ Steves.
How deep did you go? And look at that lettuce. Look at all that hair.
Yeah, look at
Take
all
your
that
hat off.
hair.
Wait. I want everybody to notice the picture right now. Right, but keep the hat off. Right now, and we're gonna take it off now. Take the picture off. And we're going to go, that was him before, and this is him after.
Yeah, I got married. That's why. That's why. But no, go back to that picture because the welcomes are in there, which are from Rockport.
Yep.
Joe Chambers.
Joey Chambers from Rockport.
From Rockport.
How about Kevin Ward? Did he play
Kevin
hockey?
Ward? Is Kevin?
Michael Ward's in there.
Oh, Mike Ward is in there.
That was your senior year?
That was my senior, Joe's senior year. Yeah, 85.
Yep.
So
Really good
I don't know
squad.
how far we went.
Where are the cheerleaders? My sister was a cheerleader for that.
I
team.
know. I could have taken a picture of the cheerleaders. But yeah, I took that from our yearbook. I did look for a tennis picture. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but there were in the sports section of our yearbook, there were no pictures of the golf team or the tennis team, I don't think.
We were second class. I love that your son comes up with this comment right here. He's really got your back. Division I hockey bench warmer. It's really nice to see that your son has gone up.
Division I saying something.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Bishop Fenwick was not Division I.
No, I told him it was Division I, Mike. All right? Don't ruin my...
He's been lying to his kids all these
Mike,
years,
I played
Mike.
D1.
He's been lying.
Fourth line.
Which, if you do the multiplication, that means the 12th line player.
I didn't mean to steal the show away from Gloucester, but I just needed to, feel good about myself.
I want to hear Phil's opinion of what happened to Emerson and the stitches. Did you think he was going to be out for Tuesday's game?
I thought he was there for a minute.
Yeah.
Because the initial word was he had a concussion.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, one of the assistant coaches told me that. But the good news was, I guess he didn't have a concussion. But he did suffer a nasty cut, which was good.
5 stitches.
5 stitches on his chin. But good thing he doesn't have a concussion because nowadays you got to go through the protocol.
Oh, yeah.
You got to, whatever you have to do. Tuesday would have been tough for him to play.
Yeah.
But thankfully he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And
there were 2 shorthanded goals in that game.
Norwood got one. Gloucester made a mistake at neutral zone. The kid stole it from the player and went in and scored.
Yeah.
And Gloucester got a shorthanded goal themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. There was one Jack scored.
Yeah.
The kid is quick. He's got quick hands.
I tell you, he's got quick hands. He's got quick feet. He moves the puck with his feet.
His vision, too.
His vision is unbelievable.
Reminds me of Mike Codera a lot.
And you know what? I never saw a player who
good
uses,
hockey IQ.
I never saw a player who uses his feet as much as his. He's always kicking the puck. He always seems to be kicking it to the right player.
Yeah.
He always kicks it to himself sometimes.
Yeah. And that move between his legs
that's
viral now.
tough. Oh, my God. That's all over the place.
Chicklets.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, stupid.
But, this roster, you could say something for every player on there. The third line, you got the White brothers. The other forward on that line has been a revolving door with guys like Aiden Donald, Danny O'Leary. Now, Danny O'Leary is a senior captain. Doesn't play a whole lot. Gets his time, but doesn't play a whole lot. This guy is a senior captain. He's swallowing his pride a little.
Oh, yeah.
He knows he's not the best player on the team, but he knows he has a role.
Right. That's key.
The White brothers, O'Leary.
How about Frady's? We haven't mentioned Frady's.
Frady's and Schuster, 2 solid defensemen.
Yeah.
His uncle is Pete Frady's.
Yeah.
And Nick Tarantino, the goaltender. He's come a long way. He did not start the season. He was not the opening night goaltender.
And he's a sophomore as well.
He's a sophomore as well. Yep.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Let's see. James Sanfilippo, a defenseman, wasn't playing a lot early in the year. He's come on as late.
Yeah.
Been playing a little bit more. It's come on late. Chris Carvelis sat early, played a lot. Sat again, played a lot. He's just a sophomore. Joseph Orlando, just a sophomore.
Are any of the kids from Rockport, or is it all?
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought.
Rockport gets kids from Ipswich and Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Derek Elms is another player who sat on the bench early. Now one of their top defensemen, I think.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So this roster is just loaded with I'm not going to say stars, but good, solid hockey players after the stars.
Yeah.
That's what makes this team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth line.
Yeah. The third and fourth lines. Well, the fourth line gets 1 or 2 shift a game. It's that third line. Third line's not being asked to score. They're being asked to play good defense, do some forechecking, knock some bodies around, and get off and get the Costanzo line back out there again. That's what they do. They do it pretty good.
Bo Tanny always put out 4 lines from Fenwick.
Yeah, well.
Actually, is Bo from Gloucester?
No, he played.
was a member at
He was a member at Bass Rocks.
Bass Rocks. Yeah, so he was.
Bishop Fenwick High School.
Yeah, well, sometimes
hockey coach.
this coach, Gloucester coach, he's got so much talent. He can put together a fourth line, squeeze them in there a shift or two during the game, give them that little experience that they need.
Yeah.
Another young kid.
Smart.
Yeah, another young kid hasn't played much, just a freshman, who I think is going to be really good in due time, is Brady Sala, number 9.
Who's his father?
Let's see.
Is that Brian Saul's father, kid? No. Who?
Actually, it's saying here he's a junior. That might be wrong, but
maybe Terry Logicacono. Logicacano.
He's had too many beers, Jim.
No, Terry's one of our regular viewers. That's why.
That's good.
Remember, we used to have Pat announce the people who were chiming in, and she could never pronounce.
Yeah. Oh, names. Pat absolutely butchered. I'm going to do a roll call right now, just to give a shout out to some of the people that have been with us. Wow, we got a lot of people here to acknowledge. We got my wife, Caitlin Chimataro, Brandon Noble, Donna Artizzoni, Terrence Logicono. I think I said that right. Annie Rochon, Peter Rollins, Ann Mondella's here. She's over there. She's chiming in. That's the lovely.
She's one of our steadies.
Janelle Cusick McCarthy.
Yeah, hello, Janelle.
Pat Gulak, Joe
She's
Higgins.
One of our steadies, Jim. You know, she's been there since day one.
She's a groupie.
Paula Ryan O'Brien.
Well, when me and Jim got started, she was our first woman that popped up on the screen.
Oh, that's great.
And she was at the 2 state tournament games. From Florida, yes.
Oh,
she had to go back
great.
to Florida for the third one.
Myra Richardson. Where are we? Oh, my goodness. Kristen Muse. Wayne Moulton. Bill Minton. John Russ. Susan Gould Colviello. Patty Goulart. Brendan McCarthy.
Facebook user.
Rebecca Reynolds. Ralph DiGiorgio. Mike Coder.
Ralph DiGiorgio.
Oh, Scott Sala is the father of Brady Sala.
Scott Sala?
Oh,
yes.
Is Scott Sala,
yes.
is Scott Sala Mia Sala's father?
Yeah.
Because Mia Sala is the one that went to Assumption for field hockey.
She's a little athlete herself.
She's crushing it, yeah. But I just want to mention right now, so I want to go back to one thing. If you share the podcast, because Mike Coder donated a ticket. 2 tickets? Are you serious? All right, this just came in. This is a new development right here.
News.
Breaking news. We have a pair of tickets for tomorrow night's game, which is, I think that's a $38 value. Wow. Mike Coder donated 2 tickets. What you need to do is you need to share the podcast, and you need to type shared on the Facebook feed so that we can see that you shared it, and we'll enter your name. We're going to draw it at the end of the podcast. And we also have a Yeti cup right here. It's a real Yeti cup right here from Beauport Financial Services.
Mike, the question is, do people have to go with you to the game?
There's a catch, huh?
He needs ride. He needs dinner. Do they have to be single?
Pat, how many shares do we have for? 10 shares. Oh, wow. So you have a really good chance of winning if you share the podcast right now. Thank you, Michael, for
Brendan, why don't you share it, Brendan?
Yeah, you're crazy not to share it. You could potentially, that's $38 in your pocket to go.
Yeah,
to get to go
you
to
could
the
scalp
game.
them and probably make 52. Hold it. He just said he'll bring the couple to Polana's after the game for a steak dinner. This is getting even better.
It depends. He needs to see the profile picture first.
I'm well cared for.
Well kept.
He is high maintenance, so you just factor that in.
Kerry Callahan Donahue, thank you for sharing. We saw your great videos from the Elks. I'd also like to mention Together Gloucester is collecting cereal for the Open Door. Together Gloucester does a fantastic job in the community. Open Door is also a phenomenal organization. They're collecting unopened boxes of cereal, I should say, at the police station where Cops for Kids It's in the Browns Mall. They'll take your donations. They'll take it at Open Door, and there are some other locations. If you contact me, I'll let you know where you can bring them. But Open Doors does so much for our community. Scotty Mack has shared it. Too bad Scotty didn't come here. Kristen Michelle, thank you for the serial reminder. We should do a shout out to Kristen Michelle.
Yeah, she's great. Kristen's great. Yeah.
I called her, and I think she liked this, that I called her the godmother of Cape Ann youth hockey.
She's great.
She's done.
She does a fantastic job.
She's
Kristen.
done a lot.
I graduated with her.
Did you really?
Yep. Man.
Geez, I would have pegged you a lot older than her.
Really?
I'm just joking.
Like I said, it's the end of the podcast.
Did you see the look? I said, no. I was just teasing.
He did like you.
No. Kristen Michelle, really, thank you for everything that you're doing. I think she's part of that.
She probably thinks I didn't even graduate.
What's that group? We're all in this together. I thought she was part of that group. Well, I'm not sure. Whatever it is. Kristen, if you could type in, just copy and paste the names of the places where people can bring the cereal, I would appreciate that.
Joe, I do want to say one thing because I did notice a couple comments about our hats, and people thought it was cute that had matching hats on. I do want to just let everybody know that the owner of this particular bar we went to is watching tonight. So we told him that we'd be wearing his hats. It's a floating bar right outside of St. John's in the middle of nowhere that you have to take a boat to. So Lime Out is the name of the floating bar. If you're ever in St. John's, you got to go to Lime Out.
If other organizations would like to have us wear their hats or their gear.
Yeah, underwear.
Well,
Speedos.
Does that mean we have to model them? Because how are they going to get the shout out?
January when we go swimming.
St. John, too, both you guys say St. John's.
Oh, he says underwears. He says underwears.
When did I say St. John's?
Is it St. John? What if it's plural? What if there's more than one?
It's a singular John.
All right. See, I told you, Joe. It's St. John.
So don't you say K-Mots?
Did you say Cape Anns?
K-Mots, Zares,
Good morning, Gloucester.
Polanas, Tonos. Do you know how many people say Tonos?
That sends me over the edge.
It drives me crazy. A lot of people say Tonos. Thank you,
Foster's.
Foster. Oh, Foster's. Foster's Grill Store, Senior Care. Where else? The Gloucester Trinitarian Congregational Church at 488 Essex Ave has a bin outside with 24/7 access. Sovereign Realty, Cops for Kids, 67 Middle Street. So there's a bunch of places you can bring the cereal.
The Facebook comment section if people need to.
Wayne has a good memory.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, all right. I think we should probably wrap it up right now. The game is going to be broadcast. Well, we're not going to be broadcast on Cape Ann Live.
Unless I can get in.
Unless Phil.
Because as of right now,
right.
No. Okay.
All right. No.
What my client meant to say is.
But good luck. Good luck to the team. We're so proud of what you guys have done to represent our city, the best of our city.
Thank you to all the parents, too.
I was just going to say that. Thank you to the parents for all those early mornings and all the money, because it's not cheap, and the dedication you've given for your kids to bring them and everything else.
The biggest thing is the smelly equipment. Thank you for putting up with the smelly equipment. I mean, has the equipment improved where it doesn't smell as much?
Oh,
I don't know if it's the equipment. I think it's the kids.
It's the kids?
All right. We currently have 13 shares. I'm going to go over it one more time. I'm going to give people a chance to share it right now, and we could add you to the list. 2 tickets to the game for tomorrow night. That's one of the prizes. The other prize is this Yeti Cup donated by Beauport Financial Services. The 2 tickets were donated by Mike Coder. If you share the podcast and you type shared in the comment section with your name next to it, we will enter you. You just left?
No, it's back.
Oh, okay. We will enter you in a chant. We're gonna draw it right now. Okay. So
breathe.
We're gonna do a 15-second countdown and for the number. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Ralph DeGiorgio just entered.
That's twice, though.
Did he enter it twice?
No,
Jeez.
he did
You
not.
can't do it twice.
I don't allow duplicates.
9,
on the official
8,
list.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's cut off right there.
14.
14 shares. Okay.
I think Phil should do it in his best announcer voice.
Oh yeah, we'll let Phil do it. We'll let Phil do it. Okay, I just have to enter it right here. Hold on a second. 1 to 14. I got to do it in front of the camera though. So I'm what?
Camera 1.
Camera 1. Okay. Right here. This is it right here.
Watch out for Jimmy Fingers. He's going low.
All right, hold on. Right here.
He's no. Whoa, hey!
Right, can you see it?
You advertise.
So Pat's gonna Pat. Can you write it and hand it to Phil so he'll do it in his best announcer voice? So the way it works is the first person to respond with either tickets or cup gets that pick, and the second person gets the second prize. And here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number three. And the winner is
Peter Rowland.
Peter Rollins is the first winner, and we're gonna pick the second winner. So Peter, if you say tickets or cup, you have the first pick. And number 8.
Number 8. Wayne Moulton. I know him.
Wayne Moulton.
My buddy.
Wayne the mailman.
Wayne the mailman.
So if Wayne,
He'd be a baseball buddy of mine.
oh really?
Yeah.
So
in my
Wayne,
baseball days.
so Wayne or Peter, whoever answers first gets the first pick.
That's if it's the same.
And Peter, if you can't go to the game, don't say tickets. Oh,
Or if you guys
there you
want to
go.
go to the game.
Wayne Moulton says cup, so Peter Rollins gets the tickets. All right, there we go. Thank Phil.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
Phil, good job, Phil.
Jimmy Fingers, thank you so much for all you've done all year, because we won't see you guys. This may be it for the fans.
Yeah.
Until next year.
Until
So
next year. Well, I think there's one good thing about this team. The team that brought the fans back.
that's it. This is it
Good
right
point.
here.
Post-COVID.
Chris McCarthy,
Yeah.
Phil Nicastro, Jimmy Fingers, Pat Dalpiaz, man things, Mike Coder, who donated the tickets, and Nicole Schraft for emotional support back there. This has been the GloucesterCast, a very special GloucesterCast, and I would be remiss if we did not say thank you to our friends from Beauport Hotel, Ray Johnstone, Sherry Zizik, and Joe, the manager tonight. Joe, the manager, went above and beyond, taking good care of us. Good luck, go Fishermen, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the game. We're going to go out with our friends from Over the Bridge, who is number 1 on the reggae charts, and they're from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Everybody have a great night.
Little town with big news. 411, come get the scoop. Wake up with Joe and the rest of his crew. It's good morning, Gloucester, to you. Oh, it's good morning, Gloucester, to you. I say good morning, Gloucester, to you.